Ever since he was a tot, he dreamed of owning the world's fastest Integra.
Hopefully you're watching at home. Here we go. Looks good and clean so far. Oh, he's going to send it. What's the mile an hour going to be? 203.99 miles an hour right off the trailer. Gotta like that.
English Racing, and this is my 1994 Acura Integra. It's GS-R still, so it's the V18 C1, the V16 head. Valve train is all GSC valve train. It's a 4-piston corded head, and it's got GSC titanium retainers, valve springs, they're T2 cams, everything GSC in the head, and GSC Power Division. Great guys over there. They're not really known for the Honda world. They're kind of more known for the 2J and the Evo 10 and Evo market that we primarily dabble in. But I mean, they make a great product, and so I'm glad to still run that stuff. And it's still have a VTEC lobe, and it still has a primary and a small lobe. So still drive the car around on the street, which I do occasionally, but not that much.
Power, here you go. Gonna be 2:08:04. That's a new personal best for Myles.
As far as the bottom end, it's a Wiseco piston, anodized Wiseco piston with a BME aluminum rod, Type R crank, all done, machined up by Howard's Hot Rods and our AR Fabrication in Virginia. And then I actually assembled the whole engine myself. ACL rod bearings, ACL mains, ACL thrust, and an ACL oil pump. Actually, it's maybe not common for a lot of people, but it makes 110 pounds of oil pressure down the track, which is really good. As far as the intake manifold and everything, so it's just changed to a Precision 7685 Gen 2 with an H cover, and I think that's really the main difference that's made the power this year up here. My issue last year is I just couldn't make any more power, and that turbo just allowed me to make another 100 horse basically to gain 3 miles an hour and something. So that's main there. Turbo kit. They did the turbo manifold, they did the intercooler piping. So it's all done by ETS. You can get universal stuff from them. They don't really make Honda turbo kits, but you can get intercoolers from them. And like this car started out the pass at 70-degree intake temps and ends at 105 at almost 50 pounds of boost. I mean, that's killer right there. It's got a Motec ECU in it, so Motec M150 with John Reed Racing Honda package in it, and it has a Motec PDM 15, and I have the keypad controls the lights, the turn signals, the drink little pusher outer thing. I mean, logs everything that I need to if I wanted to. wise. It's got aeromotive, mechanical fuel pump with a Magnus fuel bracket, so it runs off where the distributor factory would run, and so it's driven on the other side of the cam. So it's driven, you know, as the engine RPM goes up, pump speed goes up, fuel pressure, all that stuff.
Oh, here we go, turn it up. He's in it. Look plenty fast to me. What's that going to be? $213.98 miles an hour. Another new world record. Turn it up.
Fuel injector clinic 2150s, 2 sets, run at 110 pound base, so it's over like 3,000 cc's per injector, and there's 8 of them, and it's like 80% injector duty cycle, and it runs on M1 methanol, so that takes up a lot of fuel on its own. Skunk 2 Ultra intake manifold, and drive-by-wire Bosch 82 millimeter throttle body. I switched that this year. It's been a good help so far. I switched suspension this year too. Last year I was on AMR Engineering, which they were really good. I went to some double way MCS, so they're real well known for like road race cars, and this car like goes 10 times smoother and straighter than it's ever gone. With all the alignment specs and everything, I just, you know, went to a little bit of a wider tire too, and a wider wheel, so I'm on a 16x8 Volk T37 with a 245/45/16. Last year I was on a 225/50/16. So it's a little bit wider but a tiny bit shorter. And I think it's maybe a little bit better than the 225, not a ton, just a little hair bit better, and it's working really good. If I had to guess on power, it made 1217 on the old turbo at 58 pounds, but it doesn't run 58 pounds here, and then this turbo's a little bigger, so if I had to guess, it's probably somewhere between 1150 and 1200 to the wheels. It was on a 76/75 precision, the V-band 0.96 AR exhaust housing, and now it's a 76/85 with a 115 V-band housing. And I'm still amazed that it doesn't spool any slower than the old turbo. So the turbo's good for another 150 horse, and you don't lose any spool. So it's like that one thing you always want and you never get. Yeah, I got it. It doesn't spool any slower.
How much was you running on the?
Yeah, so today that was just a peak of 48 pounds. Last year it was the same peak number, but the difference is the turbo basically. So last year at this event, I came out first pass and it went 208.04 at about 47 pounds on the old turbo. And the next pass I really set in, and it chucked the rod, and that's never fun. So this year was a complete rebuild, motor, head, everything. And that was 48 pounds peak, and it right on top of it was still running 48, and it went 211.86. Same tranny, same clutch, all that, so nothing really changed there. A little more power, I think, is the key on what got me there. As far as how the weekend's going, pretty awesome. Yesterday I went 203, then 207, then 211 today. And the last event I went 203 there too. So it's a consistent over 200 mile an hour car when I want it to be. You know, I don't expect it to last forever because, well, a 1200, 1300 wheel, 4-cylinder, going that fast, they don't last forever. So it's kind of like you kind of just enjoy it while you're there and expect the blow up here anytime. So the car weighs about 2540 with driver, without the seat, full, exactly how you see it. Might come to surprise, it's probably heavier than most people think the car is, but the aero adds about 80 pounds. Each wheel and tire is 37 pounds. So if I put slicks on the car, took the aero off, it'd definitely be normal, you know, 2,400 something pounds, but it has, I quarter balance the car. The front has 840 on each front tire, which some of the fast Honda guys, they get up to the 880, the 900 on, but they're a little lighter. This car, I mean, it's extremely stable at 200 miles an hour, which is hard to do in any car usually, especially in one that wasn't really made to go anything above 150. I've enjoyed this project with the car since I've had it. It's just been a blast, and until the day I go out and it breaks every event, I'll probably stop trying to go fast then. But until then, until I can go a couple rounds and it's still going, I don't see the stop anytime soon. So I bought this car in 2006 when I moved to back to Washington. I grew up in the Dominican Republic and I had an Integra down there. And I moved there to Washington in 06 and I bought an Integra down there, and it's kind of all I knew, which back then I didn't know anything. And so I bought this car 100% stock, 1990 from the original owner. She was like a 40-year-old lady, and she bought it, had 113,000 miles on it. And that kind of began the evolution of the car. I mean, I bought a cold air intake. The car got stolen like every Honda ever does. And it got stolen in 2007, I believe, end of 2007. And we got the car back in one piece still. And it got totaled for insurance. And then I basically got the car for 240 bucks back from insurance and $6,000. So what does anybody who's 20 years old or 19 years old that just got a bunch of money in their hand, they buy a turbo kit. Put a turbo kit on it with the stock block, or I think I ran like 11.2 at 126 on a stock GS-R back in like 2008. Which back then, that was a long time ago. That was fast back then. And I just kept going up. I mean, every year it just made more power. I went like a 10.6 at 137 on a stock sleeve motor in 2009. And then I think I bought a sleeve motor, made like 650. And then the first half-mile event I went to was 2013. And I went 163 and then 172, and it spun a bearing. I did something that nobody should do, is do never leave your car in gear and decel. You will lose all oil pressure, and that's what happened to this car. Because even here, if I let off, put it in neutral, hit the chute, it drops to 0, 1 or 2 pounds of oil pressure. But it's at idle, so it's not a bad deal. But I mean, obviously dry sump cars don't have that problem, but wet sump cars, so I've always battled that. This oil pan has like an extra 2 quarts in it. So all these things. So yeah, I just went down that route. So I was like, oh man, 172, first event, this is awesome. And it just went from 172 to goal was 180, and then 180 to 190. And then it was like, man, 200 might actually be possible. And it just, it took a year. I mean, there was one year that I took this car, they had an Oregon half-mile event. And on the way to the Saturday event, I blew a head gasket on the way there. Trailered the car home, had someone bring me parts from Speed Factory, brought me a new head gasket and head studs, put it back together, drove the car down there. So it was like a 2-hour drive. I got in at like 2 in the morning, hotel. Next morning it goes 198, and it was like, all right, that kind of shit doesn't happen, And so then the next year it was just like, all right, I need to put a bigger turbo on it. I need to do all these things. So I went from a 62.62 to a 64.66 to a 68.70 to a 72.76 to a 76.75 or 72.75 to 76.75 to 76.85. So I've got like everything you could do, and then it's had a Motec in it since 2016. So I have every pass that I've done since then on this car. And I've got a lot of data, and I know when it should go fast. And it's literally been every year something changes on the car to get it to go a little faster, because you have to evolve with the car. And so if you just keep it the same, then great, that. But us speed guys like me and like other people, like, we have a hard time keeping a car how it is, So this is, I guess you could say I'm fortunate or unfortunate to be single and no kids. So that's where I can just spend a lot of money on this car. I'd like to thank all the big guys like GSC Power Division, Greg there, those guys are awesome. Obviously English Racing for working there and being able to do what we do between my car and customer cars, that's awesome. Extreme Turbo Systems for all the support with everything they've always done. Wiseco, FCS Race, they just made that catch cam for me. Doesn't have any issues. I mean, last event I was going 2 quarts out of the catch can every pass. This one I don't even see anything there. Fuel injector clinic, that Precision Turbo, John Reed Racing. Without him making the package for this car, I wouldn't be able to do that. Motec, obviously. Graph transmissions, Rywire. Man, I could probably Dart and sleeves and Howard over there. Obviously, this is a Dart and sleeve motor now. So last year it was a Golden Eagle motor. Doesn't have a single issue now. It's great. I mean, coolant pressure is good. Didn't have any problems there. So we can keep going on it. Obviously, that racing channel for being here to do all the cool videos, and all the guys. It's just without having the fans and the people to do it all, it's hard for us to want to come out and do it, you know. So it's awesome to have that.